Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a mighty king named Rajveer. He was a fair and kind ruler who wanted the best for his people. His royal court was filled with many courtiers, each skilled in different things. Some were warriors, some were poets, and some were storytellers. But among them, there was one courtier named Dev, who was known for his wisdom. One day, King Rajveer decided to test his courtier's abilities. He announced, "I have a challenge for all of you. Whoever solves it will be rewarded with a chest of gold and the title of Chief Advisor." The courtiers eagerly gathered in the grand hall. The king placed a large jar filled with water on a table. Next to it, he placed an empty ball and a spoon. "Here is your task," the king declared. "Without moving the jar or spilling the water, empty the jar into the ball. You may not touch the jar directly." The courtiers whispered among themselves. One of the courtiers tried pouring the water with the spoon, but it was slow and spilled everywhere. Another thought of tilting the jar with ropes, but it didn't work either. The day grew long, and one by one, the courtiers gave up, except for Dev. Dev stepped forward, looked at the jar, and smiled. He asked for a sponge. The king was curious and immediately gave him a sponge. Dev carefully dipped the sponge into the jar, letting it absorb the water. Then he squeezed the sponge into the ball. He repeated this until the jar was completely empty. The courtiers gasped in amazement, and the king clapped his hands in delight. "Brilliant, Dev! You have shown that wisdom and patience are mightier than strength alone. You are truly deserving of the reward." Dev humbly bowed and said, "Thank you, Your Majesty. There is always a solution if we think carefully and act wisely." He was also rewarded quest of gold. From that day on, Dev became the king's chief advisor, and his cleverness helped the kingdom prosper for many years. The story of his wisdom was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that clever thinking can solve the trickiest problems. So, children, did you all enjoy the story? Hope you understood that wisdom is mightier than strength.